everybody, to today's workshop. This is what I wish I knew as a 1L panel. And you guys have with you today Brandon and Jamie, who are students at Barry University Law School, and they are going to give you direct actual information about what they wish they knew as a 1L. So very, very exciting, and we're very happy to have them here. We'll let them introduce themselves and take it away.
Jamie, go ahead.
Hi guys, my name's Jamie Coole. I am a student at Barry University. I'm a 3L. I am involved in really just one thing on campus. I work at the Office of Admissions with Brandon. I'm an admissions ambassador, so I'm here throughout the entire process. I'm also a member of the Children and Family Law Journal. I'm a senior editor. Brandon, you're up.
My name is Brandon Paquette. Thank you for the introduction, Emily. I am a 3L and the justice of our PAD chapter at Barry University School of Law. We are located in Orlando, Florida, super close to Disney, super close to downtown Orlando, where we have the heart of our we have our courthouse there, Orange County Courthouse. So we are very close to that. We work very close with them. So we do have wonderful opportunities at Barry. And this is our third time, I believe, presenting this at the PAD Pre-Law Convention. So we are very happy to be here. If going forward, if you guys have any questions or anything, just throw it in the chat, because I'm going to share my screen to do the presentation. If you guys have any questions, put it in the chat and one of us will get to it. But please ask as many questions. We are here for you. We are going to be candid. We're going to tell you how it is. So if you have any questions, please, please, please do not hesitate to ask. We are here to help you, give you any information that we can give you, trying to settle those nerves as you are going into law school. Maybe you guys aren't going into law school, you guys are just interested in it, but interested in seeing the behind the scenes a little bit. But we will get started. Any questions, send them our way. We will definitely get to them. Let me share my screen. Give me a second. Do you guys see the What I Wish I Knew Prezi? Yes, perfect. Let's see if we can make this bigger. There you go. Bring that down here. Alrighty, so let's get started on this. This is the What I Wish I Knew as a 1L presentation. Again, we are from Dwayne O. Andreas, Barry University School of Law, and we are the Myra C. Bradwell chapter. To any of you guys who know, when you get to law school, they have awards for each chapter. We have had the pleasure of bringing home for 4 years straight now the most outstanding law school chapter, and we are hoping to get a 5th next year, so we shall see. So we're going to get started here with academics. What we do, we like to schedule ahead. That is the best thing that you can do, is schedule ahead. So whether that is, having a planner or, I use a planner. I also use my phone for different events. Now that we are living in a Zoom world, there are so many Zoom meetings, so many different things that you have to attend. So I definitely use both. I try to schedule ahead as best as possible. I normally schedule, 2 weeks out because law school, you are very busy, especially if you are involved in things like Jamie and I both are. We are very involved on campus. Her more in admissions, me more in different student organizations. So scheduling ahead is needed. And Jamie, you can jump in whenever you want. But for number 2, start your bar application as a 1L if possible. When you start your bar application, the earlier the better. When you start it earlier, it is less money, versus when you do it your last year, your 3L year, you are looking around like $1,000 to get everything together and apply for the bar, take the bar, all of that. So it is very expensive the later you wait. The earlier you do it, I believe in the first semester, if you get it done in the first semester, and I'm speaking to Florida, I'm speaking to the Florida bar. If you do it in the first semester, I believe it's $50 or $100, opposed to being $600 in your 3L year.
Yeah, and to speak on a person who has not finished it, I had no intentions of staying in this state, so I hadn't completed it. So my advice on when it comes to your bar application process is, even if you're not filling it out, every bar is going to ask, where have you lived since you're 16? Where have you worked? And if you've moved a lot like I have, tracking down those addresses took time. Because it's like, some states, it's if you live there for 1 month, you need to have the bar app, like you need to have that address. So just starting to think about that is good. If you are unsure your first year, so Florida allows your CLI, which is your certified legal intern. You can apply just for that. So it kind of just depends on what you're doing with your bar application process. But if you're unsure, it's okay to wait, but there are incentives of having less money. Like, I mean, you spend less money when you apply earlier, and then you're cleared earlier on. If there's any issues, you're notified earlier. But it's okay if you wait, but start thinking about where you lived and where you worked. So that's my advice on that.
Absolutely. And like she said, the process does take a long time. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with applying to any state bar. Excuse me, again, speaking to Florida, we have to have letters of recommendations. We have to, both personal and professional, both, scholarly and, from a family member, a distant family member, something like that. Once you send a couple of these names to the Florida bar, then they send a questionnaire to them asking about your character and fitness, asking, different questions to get to know the applicant. And then from there, those people give different names, and then the Florida bar will send those people. So it literally is like a spider web, and it just gets bigger and bigger with the people who are reached, who the Florida bar reaches out to. So the process does take a long time. That's why they say start when you're in your 1L year, because if you have anything, any discrepancies in, your law school application to your bar application, it will take a long time. So 3, supplements are not evil. So supplements, there are many different kinds of supplements. We have horn books. We have a short and happy guide. We have the Emmanuel guide. We have Walter Skluer. There's many different supplements. So what supplements are, you have your normal textbook that your professor tells you on your syllabus to get, and then that's your required textbook, and then there will be suggested supplements. Sometimes some professors don't like supplements, some professors love supplements. It just depends on the professor, the course, and kind of depends on the individual. I love supplements. I obviously read my textbook, and then if I do not understand something, I will look to my short and happy guide supplement. I wish I had one with me, but I am in the middle of moving houses, so that is at the other house in a box. But it is a small book. It's a black outline, and it's white on the cover of it, and it says a short and happy guide to, let's say, contracts or civil procedure or criminal law, something like that. Those are a couple of the courses that you'll take in your 1L year. But supplements, they are only there to help you. If you depend on supplements too much, it could be to your detriment. You do have to find that balance. Jamie, do you use supplements?
I do. I use supplements, again, as a supplement, but I'm not going to lie and say I've never used one. I read The Property Short and Happy in its entirety twice. And it's just because I needed, right? I needed its help. It's not going to, teach you everything, but in my mind, the supplement can help you understand what your professor may be saying. So like with torts, I had no idea what was happening with one of the concepts, and I read the supplement and it helped me finally make sense of what my professor was saying. So again, professors either love them or hate them. My torts professor hated them. So he was like, if you only rely on your supplement, then that's not gonna vibe. So they're useful, absolutely, with understanding the concept, but don't rely solely on a supplement.
Absolutely. It could help you, but it could also hurt you. So they are not evil, but they are useful. And I use them, and so does Jamie. And I'm sure you guys will too. Going forward, volunteer in class, but do not over volunteer. I personally will tell you, I do like to sit in the front of the class. I like to be involved. I like to answer questions sometimes, but there are those days that I like to sit back, relax, and just let everyone else answer. Just because I truly do think that you learn a lot from your peers. What I take out of a case might be different than what Jamie takes out of a case. So sitting back and listening to other people discuss the case, the rules, the issues of law, I enjoy sitting back. I think that it is a great way to learn. If you are someone who likes to be more involved, someone who likes to, answer questions all the time, sure, that helps you learn. I am kind of a mix of both, but definitely do not over volunteer, because then you'll be known as the gunner. That's what we call them in law school, the gunner. When the word gunner comes to mind, I think of two people in my section already. Jamie, I'm sure you can think of some people in your section. But volunteer as much as you want, as much as you can. It helps you, but it also sometimes it can help you to sit back and listen to the discussion instead of being involved in it. Do not be afraid of the Socratic method. So the Socratic method in law school, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. And if you guys have not, then we will describe it to you. So the Socratic method is basically, there's no method to the way that they pick students. So basically this right here could be a roster of, everyone in the class, and they can take a pen and they can literally just go, this person right here, Miss Coole, what is, the facts to this case? And it'll catch you by surprise. Sometimes you'll be ready for it. Sometimes you won't be. But don't be afraid of it. If you get something wrong, which it definitely happens, it happens to me a lot. If you get something wrong, you just learn from that. You learn from your mistakes. You learn why you were wrong, and you learn why the correct answer is correct. So to me, the Socratic method, it is a little scary, but I think it helps you learn. Jamie, are you afraid of the Socratic method?
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Socratic method. I'm also just not a class talker. I am a very large talker in my everyday life. That's why I'm here. Hey, but I am not a class talker. So the Socratic method it's fine. I understand its value. The whole point of the Socratic method is that you're supposed to be able to have a conversation about the law. And it really comes down to whether or not you read for class or not. So the professors are just making sure you're prepared. And the way they do that can sometimes be through sniping. So you are never prepared. I enjoy it because, I don't enjoy it, but when it happens, it's fine because everyone has to go through it. Like your first cold call, you're going to come out and you're going to be like, I did it. I will never forget mine. Personally, but there are some people. There are some people who thrive off of the Socratic method. It's just how they learn, and then there's others that it's the bane of their existence. But truly, it's just a way of learning. So don't be afraid of it because it's going to happen to you whether you like it or not, and you will learn to adjust. I'm not going to lie; it takes me 10 minutes for my heart rate to die down after a cold call, but that's just who I am. There are other people who are just like, please cold call on me every day, and I'm just not one of those people, but don't be afraid of it because it's going to happen.
Absolutely. Take advantage of professors' office hours. In undergrad, your professors have office hours. Typically in undergrad, I know me in undergrad, I did not visit my professors as much as I should have. However, in law school and grad school. It is a different game. It is a different ball game. So I visit my professors frequently. In my first year, my legal research and writing professor, I was in her office. I kid you not, probably at least once a week for the full second semester. So the way Barry University does it, your first semester, you have a couple of memorandums of law. So one we have is a closed memo, and then we have it, which means they give you the material, the cases that they want you to focus on and they want you to expand upon. And then an open memo, you have to find the case law. It's all your open research. You research everything, you find it, you do that memo, turn it in. Second semester, you do an appellate brief. So everything that you do your second semester is tailored to that final paper, that appellate brief. I was in my professor's office hours all the time because I thought that I was doing it incorrectly. I thought that I was citing my cases incorrectly. So I took advantage of her office hours, and it has built a wonderful working relationship. I still go to her office hours now just to check in with her. She is one of my mentors now. So I do have a very close relationship with her after I took advantage of her office hours and her help. So I can only say that it only benefits the person. It only benefits the student to take advantage of the professor's office hours. Even if you don't go as much as I did, you go maybe once a month, once every 2-3 weeks, something to just make sure that you're on the right path. I think that is wonderful. Jamie, do you visit your professors at all?
Not nearly as much as you do. I am like a after midterms, before finals girl. I have a couple that I have taken multiple classes with, so I'll go and like just hang out with them. But my first year, I literally just went after midterms because I just needed assistance. I didn't know what I was doing. Midterms weren't really that good for me. So I kind of just wanted to see how better I could learn. And now I kind of just kept the same period. And then once your finals, like at our school, when you come back the next semester, you can review the previous semester's final. And I go to review midterms and finals. So they see me about that much. And then I had my comment for my journal that I had to write. And I had one professor that I went to multiple times. And it was just because she was overseeing it. So I'm absolutely a favor of like building a relationship with the professor. But I like email. So I will email professors at any moment. But I'm not an in-person person as much. That's just me.
I just enjoy being told that I'm on the right path and doing it correctly. So if you are like me, you will use those office hours to your advantage. And if you are more of a student who doesn't like to talk to a professor, then you can always email. We are living in an email world right now. Zoom and email, that is the top two things I check every morning. 7, review after each class. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I do not review after each class. Nope. Should you? Absolutely. Do I? Absolutely not. I think that is a little too time consuming. In law school, again, I'm being very candid. I think that being candid is the best way to be, within reason, but it's very time consuming. Law school in itself is very time consuming. You need some time to yourself, some time to relax. Reviewing after each class, I think that is too much. Do I review every weekend? Yes. After each week, on the weekend, I'll take probably a couple, like 3-4 hours maybe out of it, like my Saturday or Sunday. And I will go through my notes from that week and I will put them into an outline and there you go, outline early. I try and outline as soon as I can, but you truly can't really start until I would say like the 3rd or 4th week, because then you kind of can put, missing pieces together. You learn different things, obviously, on different days, different topics, different weeks. So reviewing after each class, I don't think that's too beneficial for me. However, some people go straight to the library, review those notes to make sure that it stays in their mind. But I'm more of a weekend kind of person. Flashcards, I use flashcards. I love flashcards. Flashcards to me, it helps me with repetition to remember things. So me reading it, writing it down, and then using those to study. That's 3 different times that you're seeing this information at least. So to me, I love flashcards. I don't know if you use them, Jamie, but I have used them since kindergarten, and I will die using them.
I'm a flashcard girl. I love flashcards because my learning process is that I need a flashcard to learn the concept. And then once I know the concept, I can actually figure out what it means. So like in con law, I can't work on figuring out how to apply it if I don't know the test. And then the test helps me know that. So big flashcard outline. Look, all of this is specific to how you learn, because I have a friend who would literally cry if I gave her a flashcard. She would never do it, but her outline's her life. Her outline has a table of contents, and it is like 40 pages. So it just depends on you. And then reviewing after each class. I don't review after each class because I'm usually preparing for the classes at the end of the week. So again, I review to the extent that if I wrote one word, which happens often, it could just literally be like scrutiny. I'll write more next to it of whatever it meant. Like, why did I write that? And then that's my extent of reviewing for at the end of each class. And Brandon, I'm just going to jump on it. The try hard not to miss class. Try hard not to miss it, but you're going to come to my self-care talk. Self-care is very important in law school. Absolutely. And because it's a lot. So if you need it, take it. I'm a firm believer of you're given these absences for a reason. So maybe not use all 3, but if you need a day, take it.
Everyone needs a mental health day for sure. I, like she said, try not to use all of them. I definitely do not use all of mine, but I just found myself a couple days ago taking a mental health day, kicking my feet up and relaxing, just because I had a very strenuous day the day before. So it definitely happens. Try hard not to miss class, but if it happens, it happens.
Brandon, we have a question in the chat, and it's, have you found any sense of community in your classes, or is that stunted by competitiveness among students? I know on mine, I found a sense of community because my section was very close my first year, and it has gone through since my 3 years that I've been here. So I feel like the competitiveness is not there because we were all very willing to share anything. Like if Brandon wasn't in class, I'd text him and be like, do you need my notes?
Absolutely.
And that's just how we roll at our school. We are very community oriented and we help each other.
I would 100% agree. Just like any school, though, don't think that there aren't the competitive ones. There are competitive people, just in any, there's so many people from different walks of life coming to, this school to do the same thing you are doing. So there are people who are competitive. However, like she said, at Barry University, we are pretty much a family. Just like she said, if someone's not in class and you're cool with them, hey, these are the notes that you missed today. If you need anything, I can try and help you, something like that. I know in PAD we have an outline bank that is exclusive to the organization and its members. So right now we have, I believe, about 100 and I believe somewhere around 100 active members in our chapter, and we have an outline bank for those members. So that outline bank goes live right before midterms, and those outlines are from students in the past who have gotten a B+ or higher and who have donated those. So we have that to us, but not everyone has that. So that's a little perk of joining PAD in your law school years. But it's definitely a sense of community to me, I would say. But you do meet those people who don't have that much of a sense of community, but you got to roll with the punches.
We do what we can.
On campus. Leadership, involvement in your first year. It's definitely okay to wait. It is a lot all at once. I started my first year. Me and Jamie started together, and we will graduate together. I'm so excited for that. But when I started, I was in PAD in my undergrad. I was sitting right where you guys were, and when I got to Barry, we had a student organization fair. I saw PAD. I went straight there because that's something that I knew from undergrad. They offered me a position on the e-board as a 1L rep, so a student in the 1L class. I was their rep, and basically all that was I was communicating, basically the liaison between the e-board, that organization, and the students. I was just informing the students of any events we had going on. So you can get involved. There are many ways to get involved. There are many ways to, get that experience and having leadership experience and all that stuff. If you would like to wait, sure. But I went a different route. I didn't do mock trial or moot court. I got involved, and I'm now involved in 6 different organizations on campus and working in admissions as well. So my plate is definitely full, but I like to stay busy. So meeting peers outside of your section. So in law school, when you first start, you are put into sections. It depends on how big your class is. When we started, we had about 180 people divided into 3 sections. So that was, 60 people each. And then we had a night section that had, I believe, 30 or 40 people. So we had about 220 people in our first year. So you are with those people throughout all of your classes throughout that year. That is your section. You are given your schedule your first year, and you are with those people the whole time. Meeting peers outside of your section is important just because it's nice to meet other people, see other faces, stuff like that. But it is a little harder because you do have classes with these people all the time. So it is a little harder to meet people out of your section. I know me and Jamie, we did not meet our first year, but we met our second year. So, it is, you do meet different people throughout different years, absolutely. But it was a little harder for me, I think, to meet people out of my section my first year. How did you do with that, Jamie?
Oh, same. And to the point where I now, out of all of my friends that I consider my core, there's 2. It's you and really maybe one other person that was not in my section, and it's just because you're with them so much. Mm-hmm. That making friends outside of it's just hard to maintain the relationship, because also when you have friends in your section, you have the same professors, and it's hard to talk to you about what I'm learning in my class because you're not in that section. So it is hard. It's important because your second year, at our school, you're not with those core people anymore. So it can be a little bit different, but I mean, your 3 years, it'll fly. But it's harder, but it can happen.
Get to know a 2L, 3L on campus, maybe a possible mentor. Like I said, I joined PAD my first year, within the first couple of weeks of our first year, and I was thrown into a group of wonderful people who were all upperclassmen, and they helped me so much my first year, and I truly can't thank them enough for kind of taking me under their wing. Get to know a 2L, get to know a 3L. They can only help you. They'll, depending on the person you meet, they can, like Jamie said, give you their outlines and, try and help you that way. Or they can try and help you in a sense of trying to teach you, because that can help them learn as well as help you learn. I'm not sure, but I definitely met a lot of 2Ls and 3Ls my first year. And they're doing it right there with you. They've been in your position before, so they know the stress, they know everything that you are going through. So getting to know that 2L or 3L is good. If you can, absolutely. Create a strong relationship with your 1L professors. I already spoke to that because I am best friends with my legal research and writing professor. She calls me, she messages me. We, have different Zoom dates. We have lunch dates. build that relationship. Join PAD your first year. Look at me. I joined my first year. My second year, I was the vice justice. And this third year, I have the pleasure of serving as our justice for this wonderful organization. And let me tell you, I've met some of my best friends in this organization. I have learned a lot about brotherhood, camaraderie. I've learned about, I've learned about a lot joining PAD. So it is, again, just beneficial to you. Get to know your librarians. They do still exist. We have wonderful librarians. They all have JDs and they all have experience in legal libraries, legal research. So our librarians are wonderful. Do I use them as much as I should? Probably not. But I definitely have used them, that's for sure. Do not be afraid to use books for research. I will tell you, I have not really opened a book for research. We live in a technology world where everything is at your fingertips. We have Westlaw, we have LexisNexis, we have Bloomberg, we have, so many things at our fingertips to use, so many different resources. So if you like to use books, if you like something that's a hard copy in front of you, absolutely get to your closest law library and do that research. But I honestly only used the books when we were doing legal research and writing, when they were showing us how to do research in those books. Jamie, do you use books?
No.
No. It's just so much easier to type up something and to type something in a search bar and then it's right there, instead of, you go into the back, looking in the encyclopedia, looking, in the index, looking in this, flipping around. You spend a lot more time doing that. Work smarter, not harder, in my opinion. Black's Law Dictionary. There is an app now. However, I have this thick book. Black's Law Dictionary tells you all your black letter law. So that is basically, black letter law is the law, the rule. So if you don't understand a word, you can look it up in your Black's Law Dictionary and it'll be there to describe it to you. I used my 1L year all the time. I would always carry it right here. And it was so huge, but I needed it because some of these words are crazy. So I used that and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Off campus.
This is my life. Okay, so start volunteering for things. At our school, we have a pro bono requirement. So we have to have 50 pro bono hours by the time that we graduate. So 25 of those can be legal. I do not know if you have a pro bono requirement for PAD. Brandon, please speak if you do.
So we have community service. We are, I'm so sorry. We are, wow. Why does it do that? I'm so sorry. There you go, back at it. We do not have a PAD requirement for PAD, but we do always have community service events. So you are always able to get those hours.
Yeah, so do that early. You can do them anywhere, especially do them for experience. I volunteered my first year summer at the Department of Children's and Families, and I learned a lot. I know that I have friends who worked at Legal Aid, and those who our friend works with like the Veterans Association in Orlando. So we have volunteering early. One, you network, and then two, you're helping the community, which is always a plus. Don't remain in your undergrad lifestyle. I know we're in a weird world right now, but I'm sure all of you know a lifestyle that we are talking about. Please feel free to have a day where you have some fun, break it down. Don't look at a book. I'm a firm believer in taking a half a day to yourself.
Absolutely.
It's important to just reset your brain, take a break, but don't remain in that lifestyle the whole time because everything will sneak up on you and you will be swamped before you know it's happening.
It's a different ball game. Like I said before, it's a different ball game. Undergrad, you can go the whole semester with not doing anything, but then at the end you have, Quizlet, you have all of that stuff to help you.
It's not what happens here.
a lot different. It's a lot different.
Staying away from the drama is important for multiple reasons. One, drama is unnecessary. Two, it's just going to take away from what you're doing. You are here for a reason. You're all here for a goal, and you all have an end goal. And the drama interferes with that goal. Sometimes it's unavoidable. It happens. I mean, people make friends at orientation, and then there's a breakup, or life happens, and then something happens at work, like family. Sometimes it happens, but if you can stay away from it, the better. So that is good. And attend non-school related networking events. Brandon, you can help me with this one, but I know that like in Florida, the Florida Bar hosts networking events. And then if you join certain organizations, they do. The American Bar Association does too. Mm-hmm. Brandon, anyone else?
In Orange County, we live in Orange County here. Orange County Bar Association, they host luncheons. And these luncheons, you get to become a junior or a young lawyer.
Yeah.
I think it's young lawyer, right? In the OCBA, Orange County Bar Association, and then you get to become, invited to these events and all that stuff. So they have luncheons, they have different CLEs, that's continuing legal education. They have a lot of different networking events that can only benefit you. What we focus ourselves on in the Myra C. Bradwell chapter here at Barry University is networking. So we do a lot of networking with PAD alum. We do a lot of networking with different attorneys in the area who, have maybe moved here and, they want to get their name out as well. We have met people from, multiple different states who have come to Orlando to build their practice, whatever. And we have been able to network with them and even get some internships for our members. So it is very important to attend networking events. It is very important because you just want to build your name, build your reputation, and soon get that money when you're out of law school. Staying human.
Yeah.
That's it. Stay human.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Stay human, find an outlet. And then I feel like try to make friends outside of law school. I'm just going to say that it's important, but also please understand that they do not understand what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And I'll say that for family members too, because I have the most supportive family in the world, but all they think I do is like, you just read a book. I don't understand how that's hard. And they don't understand everything else that happens with it. And finals and midterms it's going to be hard. So one, having a very honest discussion on the time commitment with your friends and your family, pivotal, because as long as you're real with them, that is real. Finding an outlet, yoga, working out, I run. So finding an outlet's important. I have a friend who like crafts. So taking some time for yourself because your stress is going to be very high. So finding a way to relieve that stress is important. That's why I know, we live in Orlando currently. I go to Disney a good bit. I'm actually going today. Finding a way to just completely walk away from what you're doing is important wherever you are in any way that looks like.
Absolutely. And speaking on that time commitment and having that conversation with your family members, when it comes to studying for the bar, you're studying for 2 full months and you're doing, 8 to 12-hour days. That's something that you definitely have to discuss with your family, with your friends, because in those 2 months, you're basically shut off. You're shut off to everything else other than, you have your mind on the prize and that's it. You are shut off to everything other than studying. So that conversation is crucial. You definitely do have to have that conversation so they can understand.
And I would say I'm so sorry, Brandon.
You're
I was
good.
saying if you have a significant other, if you live with that significant other, I live with my fiance. I did not lie to him from the jump. I was like, things are going to change. I'll talk to you when I can. It's been real. Please take care of the dog. Things like that. I was just very honest that this time commitment was going to be a lot. And that honesty helped him because there was no lying. It was I work from 9 o'clock to 6, and then after 6 we can watch Netflix. So it is just the honesty throughout all of your important relationships.
100%. 100%. Work lifestyle. Work school balance key. Like we both said, we both work in admissions. I am considered a part-time student. I don't know how. I'm taking 4 classes. I guess because I'm 1 hour credit underneath the full-time. Anyway, I have 4 classes. I work in admissions. I told you I am involved in 6 other organizations on campus, and I also am a part-time manager at a retail store. So I work there on the weekends. I work at school during the week. I do my classes during the week, and on the weekends I review, study for the coming up week. Work-school life balance is key. If you have the opportunity to have a job, it is, it's nice to get your mind off of school every once in a while. But don't overwork yourself, because if you overwork yourself, like I do, you might burn out. But that balance is definitely key. Jamie, I know you used to work at a law firm as well. Are you still at that law firm?
Due to COVID, no.
No.
So I have worked in admissions since my first year. I've been in the office my second semester. My first semester, I made an agreement to myself that I wasn't going to do anything because I needed to figure out what I was doing. Absolutely. So second semester, I got a job. I always work, and I love on-campus jobs for multiple reasons. 1, you don't have to commute because you're there. And then 2, they're very understanding to the fact that you're a student. They get that midterms are coming up, finals are coming up. Do you need a day? And you can trade hours with people. And then they just get that, like, sometimes that office is not going to be full during midterms and finals. Other jobs may not be so understanding. I did clerk downtown, and then the coronavirus happened. They were very understanding, but it's because the firm the firm owner went to Barry. So he was just very, very, very understanding. But again, like, a job is important. If you want one, I have friends who do not have one. But a job, to me, experience, and then also just having it, you're not in school, you're at work, was pivotal to me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot, and I am so thankful for my jobs.
Thankful. That's it. We're blessed. We're blessed to see another day.
Keep it.
Keep an open mind to practice area. I came into law school knowing exactly what I wanted to do. And I hope to do exactly that when I leave law school. So I came in wanting to work in family law, and I love family law. There's the drama there always. It's fun. You see, not always fun. Family law, it involves, some emotionally tolling things. You have to, sometimes take the children away. Sometimes that same child can't be reunited with his parents because, of X, Y, Z. So it's definitely tolling, but I came with my mind on that, and I'm leaving with my mind on that. I also want to specialize in adoptions, gay adoptions. I think that that's not really seen too much in the legal field. So I would love to be a poster child for that. But Jamie, are you leaving law school with what you wanted to do coming in?
Kind of, yeah. I came in preaching family law, all of my prior experience beforehand. I worked for a children's law center on the tech side, not on the legal side. And then I've done all of my experience here in family law. I wanted to be an advocate for fathers and their fight for their children. But now I really am enjoying more of the higher ed lifestyle of law school, because when you work at a law school, in almost all the positions, you have to have a JD, which was fun fact. So I am enjoying that side of life, but I'm keeping my mind open. But I clerked at a divorce firm, so I didn't steer far from family. But I think we all come in with a practice mind. Kind of what I want to talk about this is when you get into law school, you'll meet people who are like, I'm working for the PD's office. That's it. And they'll take all the trial classes and all the criminal classes, and then they won't take any of the bar tested courses. And then they get to the bar and all they know how to talk about is criminal, and they have no idea about wills and trust and family, which is bar tested. So rounding yourself isn't a bad idea. Like, throw in a class that you have no idea. Case example, I'm taking aviation law right now. Couldn't tell you why, but I'm in it, and I'm rounding myself out a little bit. So don't be afraid to take like water law, or anything like that if you come in with an open mind, because being rounded isn't a bad idea.
Absolutely. Water law is maritime law, if anyone was wondering. But anyway, look for remote.
I just saw it on the class schedule and I was like, water law.
It's weird. I don't know why it's called water law, but water law, take it. Look for remote jobs. Especially right now during COVID, there are so many remote jobs you can do right from here. Make that money. Don't even leave your house. What gets better than that? Keep your PJs on. You're living the life. There is a life after law school, and we are finally being able to see that light at the end of the tunnel now. Jamie and I are about to enter into our last semester. When we come back from Christmas break, we will be in our last semester. So there is life after law school. It is 3 years that you are devoting to this. And it is a sacrifice. Before I came to law school, I went to UCF, University of Central Florida, go Knights. And I graduated in 2017. I took a year off. I worked at a Social Security firm. Kind of hated Social Security firm. It was very nice to get that information and be able to learn about something else, just like Jamie said, to, kind of round yourself. But, I did that, and then I decided that I definitely wanted to go to law school. I took that year off kind of to, work on my LSAT, all this stuff. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do it. Let's go. 3 years, huge commitment. But after law school, you get to do what your passion is. You get to live that, live your passion out and be able to do that. So there is definitely life after law school. And don't lose your confidence. Don't compare yourself to others. When you compare yourself to others, you tend to lose that confidence. I will be straight up. I compare myself to others, and not like, oh, he's the top of the class, whatever. I don't care about being the top of the class. I think C's get degrees, quite frankly. But quite frankly, but what I do compare myself, and I need to stop doing so, is, thinking, oh, I'm taking, I've studied for 5 hours and I'm going to stop, but there's someone else working harder. So then it pushes me, it does push me to continue, which is nice. But then I'm comparing myself and like, oh, what are they doing? What are they doing differently? Why are they getting better grades than I am? And it does tend to make me lose some self-confidence. But then you just have to reel it back in and just think to yourself, we are all here for the same purpose. We are all here for that same piece of paper, that diploma. And, you want to make a change in this world. And like I said, C's get degrees. So if you're getting straight A's and someone else is getting B's and C's, at the end of the day, you're still going to get that same piece of paper. And it just, it all depends on how you use that paper. It all depends on how you use that knowledge that you gained here. So it's not something to, it's not something to your benefit to compare yourself to others, but it just shows you that you should not give up. See how I tied that in there? But that's about it. That is the end of this presentation. Do you guys have any questions? I will stop sharing this now. Do you guys have any questions for us? Don't speak all at once, guys. Come on. And even if you guys don't want to type it, you guys can just unmute yourself. I think. No, you can't. I don't know.
I feel like my professor in aviation today.
Just sitting
Yeah,
waiting.
he asked a question and no one said anything. He went, "Okay, Steve, I'll answer," and then he just answered. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, yes,
That is the goal.
that's the goal.
I know we were candid, you know, we were honest. You hear some people that say, oh, you know, for every credit hour you have to study 3 hours, and you know that makes it, you know, 60 hours, 70 hours a week. Work smarter, not harder. Don't burn yourself out. You know,
Yeah, don't
you
burn yourself out at all.
know how you study, you know how you work. And if you're someone who you like to study super early in the morning, do that. If you study super late at night, do that. Just don't burn yourself out.
Yeah, because burnout's hard, because you're going to burn out and then you're going to realize there's 3 weeks left and there's finals and then your brain doesn't work and then you got to figure that out. So definitely don't do that.
I'm going to put in my email address, and Jamie will do the same. If you guys have any questions, you guys can email us there. Email me there. If you have any questions for admissions, you can email us at lawadmissions@berry.edu. That is also in there. We would love to help you in your application process. Like we both said, we both work in admissions, so we are your go-to gals. We can help you with anything you need. So if you have any questions, you didn't want to say it here, you want to talk to us about something privately, feel free. We are definitely here to help you. And I hope you guys found this informational, beneficial, everything.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. It was a wonderful time. I love PAD. And if you guys go to law school, you guys should definitely join PAD, because you guys will meet some wonderful people like Emily Baranowski right here.
You're very nice. No, thank you guys both so much for doing this. You guys are wrapping up. You guys, great timing with just pushing up on 4 p.m. So, yeah, great job, you guys. And everyone gets a little bit of a break before our keynote at 4:30. So.
Yeah, well, thank you guys very much. Thank you for having us, Emily.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
To do it again next year. We'll see you guys soon.